It's been a long time, you know? Remember that night?
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? It is your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Cafe de Paris. What's good? It is Thursday. We're getting closer and closer to the weekend, y'all. So praise the Lord that you made it through a whole nother week. But on that note, I felt it was very imperative that I brought y'all some content. First off, before I go into tonight's subject, I want to give a big welcome to everybody in my chat room. For those of you who are new, this is your first time here. Welcome to Mocha's Cafe de Paris. This is the diner where you will be served truth, where you will be served wisdom, and you will be served knowledge. So if that's what you're looking for, you're definitely at the right place. Want to give a big ups to Metamorphics, Silks BB, EE, of course. It's Fifi, J Smooth, and to whoever else is here. If you come in and I forget technology, don't take it personal. Sometimes when I get into chatting, I lose focus. I'm trying to make sure I don't lose my train of thought. So if you come in, for all of my moderators, if you see somebody come in and I don't acknowledge them, just look out for me. Tell them welcome to Mocha's Cafe de Paris. That's all you got to do, because here we like to make everybody feel welcomed. What's up, cool gent? Good to see you again. Yep, I was on earlier for everybody who didn't know. Hell, I forgot what the hell I talked about earlier. But anyway, if you look under my videos, you'll see my most recent video today. But y'all, I thought it was very imperative that I brought this content to you because this particular content is a little more personal for me than most of the content that I have done. And I'm a real person, but I'm not very open. And I have my reasons for why I'm not really open, because sometimes, when you're too open, people know how to attack you. And people know your weaknesses and your vulnerabilities. And I try to play it safe, especially being a content creator. We have to be very careful with the information that we put out, with the information we display, because sometimes the message that we put out there, it could be received the wrong way. And if we're not careful and if we're not mindful with how we word things and how we deliver and put things out there, it could come back and harm us in a negative way. So I try to be very womanly. I try to be very mature when I do content on certain things. But nevertheless, I thought it was imperative that I did this particular content, and the majority of you in this room is going to be able to relate. Whether if you're a man or you're a woman, you're going to be able to feel where I'm coming from, because at some given point in your life, we all have experienced some type of betrayal through friendship. And this is not something new. This is something, people have gone through. Everybody has experienced it. And if you have never experienced it, maybe you can learn something from tonight's content. And for those of you who have experienced it, I'm sure y'all will be able to relate and reflect to a lot of the content that I'm going to be doing tonight. But I thought it was very imperative that I did this particular that I served this particular recipe on tonight's menu. And basically tonight's content is bitter bitches don't make good friends. Okay. It's very self-explanatory. Y'all don't have to read them between the lines. That's exactly what I mean. These bitter broads do not make the best of friends. And some of y'all right now are probably in really toxic friendships. And you and that person should have been with y'all separate ways long time ago. But a lot of the times we take a lot of things off of people because we like to keep making excuses, especially when you're a person, you have a good heart, especially when you're a person, when you are loyal to the end. And I think that has really bit me with a lot of people. Exactly, Silks. I'm sure the majority of y'all can relate. Now, I maybe my loyalty has caused me to basically be bamboozled and bulldozed. And sometimes when you're too loyal, people could take loyalty as a sign of weakness. If you're not careful, you could be so loyal to the point that you come off weak, that you come off gullible. So you have to make sure, ladies and gentlemen, that your loyalty does not lead to stupidity. Oh, that's a good one now. Don't let your loyalty lead to stupidity. Okay, you have to be very careful. There's a thin line between being loyal and being stupid, and you have to know the difference between the two. So that's why I'm doing this particular content, because some of us, we don't know when our loyalty has transcended to stupidity. And that is where I break down all of the elements, because it's like I said, it's a lot of you who are in toxic friendships, because you got to be careful. Relationships aren't the only thing that's toxic. A lot of the time we think people can only be toxic to us if we're in a relationship or if we're married to them. But believe it or not, a person could be toxic to you in a friendship, you know. And if you're not careful, or if you're so loving and you're so giving, you're not going to read in between the line. And unfortunately, people who have a big heart tend to overlook a lot of things, because when you have a good heart, it means you want to see the good in people. And as long as you want to keep seeing the good in people, you will overlook a lot of bull crap that you shouldn't be overlooking. But your heart will make you make excuses. Your heart will tell you, oh, well, he didn't mean it. She didn't mean it. Or, oh, that's just the way he is. That's just the way she is. I mean, we go way back. We have a history. We know each other from middle school. We know each other from high school. We like family. I call her mama, mama. She called my mama, mama. We will try to come up with all kind of excuses to tolerate all type of disrespect and foolishness off of somebody just because they are what we consider a friend. You know what I mean? And you have to have discernment. You have to know when people is having a moment or when they just straight playing you. Okay, so give and take. We all, no friendship is perfect. What's up, Shaw Willie? Thank you, my love. For all my moderators that are coming in, anybody comes in, just welcome them. Tell them welcome to Mocha's Cafe de Paris. Ain't got to be nothing long and drawn out. Because sometimes when I get to talking, I don't be seeing who come in here, and I don't want people to feel like they're not being acknowledged and they're not being welcome. So I appreciate my mods. I love y'all. Y'all like my security team. I can't pay y'all a goddamn thing, but I do appreciate you for having my back. So, I love y'all. I appreciate the little that y'all do for me. So thank you so much. Um, but yeah, you have to you have to read in between the lines and know when you're getting played. But anyway, the reason why I did this particular content is that I've had my share of friendships, and keep in mind I'm a Scorpio. Scorpio is my zodiac sign. What's up, Anthony? How are you? Absolutely, J Smooth. What's up, Uptown? Yes, honey, I'm doing an overdose today, honey. Don't get used to it, though. I'm probably doing the overdose because guess what? Next week, I ain't going to do nothing but get tipsy. That's what's going to happen. That's the only reason why I'm double dosing. Because next week, I'm just going to get tipsy. That's what's going to happen. But yes, I'm doing a little double dose. If I can do a little extra, I'll come in and do a little extra. You a Leo? Oh, me and you would not get along, Metamorphosis. You cannot be my man. I cannot stand Leos. Not as my man, not boyfriend material. I'm just saying, we cool, Meta. I got nothing against you, but you cannot be my man. It would never work. I hated every Leo dude I ever been with. No offense. I'm dead serious. It sounds stupid. It makes no sense, but I promise you, every dude that been a Leo, I do not get along with them jokers. We have a good time as friends. I can have a good time and vibe with them, but they can't never be a Leo. Can't be my man. I'm sorry, I can't stand y'all. What's up, Hero? Thank you for coming in. Yeah, we try to be, but we off the chain too, Silks. We something else too now. The problem with Scorpios is we love way too hard, and that's dangerous. Because a Scorpio will love you to the point where they'll kill you. That's the bad part. I just don't get it, Meta. I don't know why. I just can't stand y'all. I can't. I do not get along with Leos. Y'all are my least compatible signs. My father-in-law is a Leo, but that's another story. I'm not gonna go there. Let me be quiet. I don't get along with y'all lions. I'm serious. But I'm just well, I'm cool with Leos. I just can't be their woman. We can't be together. It's not gonna work. First thing I asked my husband, are you a Leo? He's a Capricorn. And Capricorns and Scorpios, believe it or not, are very compatible. I've been with him almost 19 years. Yeah, we won't, nobody else won't be able to deal with us. Only we can deal with each other. Nobody else is going to be able to deal with him. Nobody else is going to be able to deal with me. I am a piece of work. No, but I need to be sipping EE. I'm out of wine. I promise you. Usually I have wine when I do these contents. I don't have no wine. So, unfortunately, I wish I did. I'm out of my I usually drink I drank Manischewitz. Manischewitz. I don't know how many of y'all heard of Manischewitz, but that's my drink. I love Manischewitz. I love, 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 love. Love it. That's an old school drink. Them old people know about that Manischewitz. That Concord grape. I love it. Yeah, I'm in my feelings because I don't have no wine. I'm cool with Leos too, but I've never been in a relationship with them. I ain't trying to be funny, but every guy that was a Leo, we bump heads. It may be just a coincidence. I'm not big in zodiac signs. I don't believe in stuff like that real big, but I don't get along with them jokers. What's up, rep, rep, rep? Rep is in the building. I hope you got my email. I sent it to you next Friday. So if you didn't see it, just check your email. It should be in there. I know I'm losing my mind, Shaw. I have no wine. I'm telling you. No wine is like it's like having a buffet that done ran out of fried chicken. It just don't work. It just don't work. It just do not work. But I know I'm digressing. But basically that's why I'm doing this content, y'all. But on the real, like I said, I'm a Scorpio, and Scorpios, we are very, very loyal people. We are very loyal to people that are very loyal to us. And sometimes, like I stated, sometimes your loyalty can become stupidity. You could be so loyal to the point that you will make excuses for people who you know is mistreating you, who you know is doing you in, but you will find a way to make an excuse for them because when you have a heart, you really don't want to see the person for who they truly are. Yeah, I get along with cancers. My stepdad is a cancer. And I love them dearly. I get along with cancer guys. Cancer men have a lot of patience. Y'all really, really, really do. Cancer men have a lot of patience. Um, but yeah, I've actually again, I've always been very loyal. I've never had a lot of friends, so anybody who I have accepted as a friend, believe me, they had to earn it. I've always been the kind of person, you are guilty until proven innocent. I'm very suspect of you until I get to know you, and I've been around you. I've been around your company. That's the only way. I'm very suspect. I'm suspect of anybody I meet. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact I've had experienced too much betrayal. So betrayal is like crack. Betrayal will have you paranoid as hell. Betrayal will have you looking over your shoulder like a crackhead. You get what I'm saying? What's up, Zero? Thank you for coming in. Appreciate you. I'm telling you, betrayal will have you like a crackhead. When you've been betrayed, you will act like a crackhead. You will constantly be looking over your shoulder, wondering who gonna do what next, what they gonna do, how they gonna do it. And I've always been very suspicious of people. So it takes a lot for me to allow anybody to get close to me, because, especially other women. Um, because I've just experienced too much betrayal. Now I have been fortunate where God has blessed me with one or two girlfriends who I've been friends with almost 20 something years. And when I say I never had no problems for these chicks, Never had a problem. And it's very rare, ladies and gentlemen, that you could find out one friend that is down by law, who really have your best interests at heart, who really want to see you win. It's hard to find somebody who wants to see you win. Because I'm telling y'all, everybody is not going to celebrate you. Some people are just tolerating you, but they're never going to really celebrate you. And I've been fortunate, on my 39 years on this earth, to meet one or two friends that have really been down by law. And the one friend that I had that was dear to my heart, I lost her in 2015. She died in a car accident, and she was only 36 years old. As a matter of fact, she just had a birthday. She would have been 38 on the 8th of this month. So when I lost her, it really caught me off guard. It's crazy how you could be drinking coffee and tea and hanging out with somebody today, and the next day you don't expect for them to not be in that next day with you. I did not expect to lose her so fast, the way I did, because when I said she was a down by law friend, that was my girl. She meant everything to me. We go back from high school, I mean, from middle school, since 92, 93. And, when I lost her, it really gave me a reality check in life that, it's very important that you value people while you have them, you appreciate them. I was always so busy, always on the go. Looking back, I realized I should have put more time into that friendship, but I kept being busy, and I had so much other things going on, to the point to where I really wasn't there for her. That guilt I kind of still carry. I feel like I wasn't there for her as much as I could have been, but she died in the head on collision, with both of her boys in the vehicle with her, and it's by the grace of God, by the damage of that car, that they survived it. So I just really felt like it was her time. um I don't try to question God. Whatever God does, that God is, he's the ruler of this world, of this nation. So I don't question why, when I lose somebody close to me, I don't question him. As exactly, Silks, it really was a lot, and have to go to the hospital and see her two boys was looking for her, and knowing that she wasn't there. And but I stayed a friend to the end. I spoke at her funeral. I made sure my friend went off when she went out. I made sure she went out gracefully. I did a very nice presentation for her at her funeral. I made sure that I represented and stayed the friend to the end. I still keep up with her boys. I haven't seen them in almost a couple of months, because I'm not gonna lie, it still hurts going to see them, because when I see them, I'm so used to seeing her with them, and I know she's not going to be there. So I still kind of struggle with that. And it's been like 2 years. Some people hate on you from the other kids. Yeah, absolutely, Jay Smooth. And that's why I'm doing this content. But God bless her soul. I know she's in a better place, and I'm gonna always respect her to the fullest. But anyway, besides that, I've had my share of good friends, but I also had my share of bad ones. And that is why I'm doing this content tonight, because it's very imperative that you understand, um that bitter broads don't make good friends. In other words, you cannot make good friends with people who are in a bitter place in life. When you're dealing with an individual that's bitter, and things are not going well for them, and they're not in a good place in life, they're not going to genuinely uh, appreciate or celebrate you, because it's that undercover haterism that's in the spirit that they carry. So when you're dealing with a person that's bitter, you have to be very, very careful, because while you think they're rooting for you, at the same time, they're hoping you lose, because it's that part of them that, misery likes company. If I'm not doing well, I don't want to see you doing well. If I'm struggling, I want to see you struggle. Only a real friend could appreciate when they down and you up. They'll celebrate you when you up. Or if they up and you down, they'll still celebrate you even though you're the one that's down. That's how real friendship works, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't matter who's doing good for the moment or who's doing bad for the moment. Real friends are going to be there for each other no matter what. It don't matter who is more successful at that time or who is not as successful. You're going to celebrate each other no matter what. Exactly. And that's true, rep, and that's what I'm going to talk about too. What's up, Rice? Thank you for coming in. It's not about we can't. Well, people got to understand in friendship. Everybody's not going to be on top at the same time. It's like a seesaw. One minute I may be doing good, and then next minute you're not doing that well. Or one minute you're going to be doing better than me, and then I'm not going to be doing as good as you. But we shouldn't allow each other's success and accomplishments to taint our friendship. If we mean anything to each other, if we really love one another, if we have a real love for one another like that, we are going to celebrate each other no matter how good or how bad the other one is doing. But you got some friends, quote unquote, that when they doing good, they have to constantly rub their success in your face. Or if you're doing bad, they got to rub salt in your wounds and make you feel worse than what you already feel. But this is the reason why I'm going into this content. I had a particular girlfriend of mine, which shall remain nameless. I had to cut off 2 days ago. It was against my better judgment. I had to cut off. Yeah, Hero, I still got that southern city type thing. I've been living in the south for every bit almost 19 years, but some people tell me I still have that northern thing. I don't know how I still have it because I haven't lived up north since I graduated high school, but that's what I've been told. But um yeah, appreciate that, Silks. I had a friendship, a particular person that I've been knowing for a long time. I had to cut off. Definitely 2 days ago. Um, Basically, this wasn't the first time I had to cut her off. Um, I had to cut her off because I've come to the realization that we are just not on the same page and we are going different directions in life. Yes, just suspended. Me and my so-called friend was bigger ones in the group. I recently had weight loss, so now her behind my back talking about it. I mean, Fifi is unfortunate, but that is black women. We are cursed with betraying each other. I just it's just something that we can't stay away from. We just have a hard time being loyal to one another. It's just not in our nature to really be happy for each other. It just isn't. Um, now keep in mind, me and this particular female, we knew each other since 96, 97, somewhere in that ballpark. Knew each other a really long time. I'll say 20 plus years, and we've gone through a lot together. um we've experienced a lot of the same trials and a lot of the same tribulations, but despite all of that, we've always supported one another. When she was down, I picked her up. When I was down, she picked me up. So before I talk totally bad about her, I'm gonna tell you the good stuff about her. When I was going through a rough patch in my marriage, things were going, I was going through a very heavy storm. She encouraged me. She sister was down and I was kind of already drowning a little bit, and that was her opportunity where she could have kept pouring water on me, but she encouraged me the best she could, and vice versa. When it was her turn and she was going through her issues in her marriage, when things started getting better for me and my husband, and it became her turn when she started going through, I made sure I returned the favor, because that is how I do. You scratch my back, I'm gonna scratch yours. But what has happened over the years is that I notice sometimes with women in friendship that even though y'all could have known each other for a long, extensive amount of time. But what tends to happen is when one of you start to branch out and you're going in another direction, especially if that direction is a positive direction, sometimes women, we have the tendency to become envious of each other's come ups. You know, it's kind of like something when it comes to women, we don't mind singing the blues together. As long as I'm down and you down, we can celebrate each other. As long as we're both kind of going through. But what happens is when one of us start to come up a little bit or one of us start to do well, the one that is down, unfortunately, is going to have a hard time celebrating the one that is growing and that is doing well. And, a lot of our jealousy towards one another, really, it comes from our own personal insecurities, stuff that we are struggling with individually. um Uptown says jealousy is an unnecessary emotion and one that you can discard. Absolutely, but women, jealousy is just is a disease that has become contagious amongst Black women within the Black community. Thank you, Seven. I appreciate the $2 donation. Thank you so much. That's why ladies must know who they dealing with. I agree, and that's why I'm doing this content. So, like I said, I gave y'all the general idea of how far back me and her went and our friendship. Okay. Now, the last incident that made me cut her off before I cut her off recently, the first thing she did that made me cut off, she was going through a rough patch with her husband. Okay. And her husband was really doing a lot of disrespectful things to her. Um, he basically took her through a lot. To the point to where courts had to get involved, police had to get involved. It just was ugly. Um, yeah, exactly, Chuck G. Chuck G. And it was rough seeing her go through a rough patch. Not that my marriage is perfect. My marriage is far from perfect. I've been through some things that some women might correlate to. Some women might be like, oh goodness, I wouldn't be able to deal with that. I've gone through some things in my marriage that I'm not proud of, but at the same time I knew it was something that we had to go through in order for us to both grow and mature. And I try not to be judgmental of another woman's marriage. I try not to make another woman's problem stand out more than mine's. But when it's to the point to where no marriage is perfect, but when you are married to a man that will get so angry, he will leave you and your children out in the cold. I just think that's a whole nother level of disrespect. um he did a lot, to her. um he was, had a good career going, and he sabotaged that because they caught him with so many schemes and caught them with so many lies. I mean, this dude was just straight ruthless. But anyway, without going all into all too much details about what has happened to her, um, he was just really, really a lot. And unfortunately, what ended up happening was at that point, he took things a little too far physically, and that's the best way I can put it. He took things a little too far physically to where law enforcement had to get involved. And what ended up happening was at that point it had got so bad she knew she had to make a decision. If either she was gonna suck it up or separate. And at that time, she was given that advantage to separate from him because um there was proof. Hello, you later, Mocha later, everyone. All right, Seven, no problem. Talk to you later. Sounds like the type of guys that like to only complain about them later on. Um, she basically, it was just a whole lot. So when I said the judge was willing to give her everything she ever wanted. God made a way for her to leave this abusive marriage. He laid the red carpet out for her. The advocate, I think it's called family violence advocate. Um, they was willing to put her in a nice apartment. They was willing to make sure that financially he had to take care of her. Everything was laid out for her. And, through the process, she had got me involved. She had got her friends involved. She had us writing, talking to detectives. Well, not the, yeah, detectives, police people wanting to get outside of the story about the history of how many times this dude physically fought her. We had to do these reports. We had to do all this stuff. What's up, Prince? What's up, Beyond? We went through all of this stuff. Even her other homegirl flew in from out of state and went to court with her to be her witness to let the judge know, what had happened. So when I tell you this chick had plenty of support, she had plenty of support to get away from this abusive husband. Everything was laid out on the red carpet for her. At the last minute, after God fixed everything in her favor, she was going to get a nice apartment. Judge fixed it where he was going to have to send her a large allotment. Everything was going to work out in her favor. Don't you know she decided to let all of that go and get back with him after she got me involved, her mama involved, my mama involved. She had us go through all of the shenanigans of trying to help her get out this abusive relationship. And she decided to stay. You know, and then she had the audacity to get an attitude with us for not supporting her on wanting to stay with this abusive man. Who does that? Exactly, Anthony. Exactly. Yeah, and no one on the outside. You never lied, Anthony. It is the truth. When a woman is stigmatized, there is nothing you can do to get her out of a toxic situation. It's in the drawer thing or whatever. That's absolutely it's probably like the third drawer on them. There's absolutely nothing you can do. Just one moment, y'all. Let me get this. See, going on. I wish you would have asked. Okay, yeah, I'm back. Yeah, you cannot defeat the power of penis. I don't care how no good a dude is. You cannot deliver a woman who is stigmatized. You can't. She can know she's in a dysfunctional situation, but guess what? She's not leaving him. What's up, Julian? Let me see. Catch some of my comments. Um, Greetings. Just want to see what Lady Mocha was talking about before I got to sleep. Oh, I got y'all. I know y'all got to work tomorrow. So if y'all got to leave to exit the building early, that is fine. I'm going to leave it up. So don't feel pressured to have to stay all night, y'all. Because unlike y'all, I've got no job. So I can talk all night. I don't have no job to be to tomorrow. I need one though. I'm not gonna brag too soon because I'm sure I'm gonna be working again. I'm positive I'm gonna be working again. I got to work again. It's the Stockholm syndrome. It hasn't gotten bad enough for her yet. Everybody has been, girl. Yes, uptown, honey, honey, honey. You are speaking life. Yes, yes, you are absolutely right. That's what happened. And I'm gonna get into that uptown. I'm glad you brought that up. What's up, Julian? Thank you for coming in. I'm asking about it says and never asked for it. You cannot deliver a woman that's been stigmatized, like I stated. Um, she basically, she had all these children from him, and that'll keep a woman bonded to a bad relationship too, where she has a lot of children. She had like 6 children from him. So I mean, Do the math. You know what I mean? Year back to back to back, every year, he inflated her every year. And I knew a part of her felt like the relationship was lacking. So she sensed he wanted to leave. So I guess she called herself trying to trap him. I guess she figured the more kids she would put in the marriage, the less chances of him leaving her. Yep, I don't have no job, zero. I'm like Tommy, rest in peace to him. I has no job. Yeah, I mean that's how it is, Hero. I mean we're all adults here. I mean I'm just keeping it 100. You can't deliver abroad from an abusive relationship if she's stigmatized. There's nothing you can do about it. Um, yeah, and well, I know being stigmatized is not the main factor, but it's one of the factors. I know for her and her situation, that was just one issue, but the other issue was she had so many children from him. She knew the chances of leaving him was going to put her at a disadvantage because the chances of another man wanting to get with a woman who already has 5 or 6 kids is slim to none. It's not too many men that's going to pick up on where a man left off, especially if he left off with 5 or 6 kids. It's not too many men coming in after that. And I knew she realized um I know she realized that, which was the other reason she took a lot of stuff off of him. But anyway, that's besides the point. But anyway, we went through all of this stuff, y'all. And when I said God had favor over her, everything, I mean, she had things going so great. Do you realize the judge was willing to give this abusive husband? She had it to where the judge was going to give her was going to grant her a 4-year restraining order. A 4-year restraining order. It's pimp game. He has her believing nobody else was. Exactly, Chuck G. Yep, that's true. That's absolutely true. He did that a lot. So you're 100% right, Chuck G. Chuck G says not only that, it's pimp game. Has her believing nobody else wants her. He made her feel small. Yep, absolutely. Yes, yes. And that's what happened. Um, the judge had was willing to give her a lot, and she turned all of that down. um Girl, let me uptown, would you please stop telling my story before I finish it? Good grief. Uptown, I believe you must have been there because you telling every doggone thing before I could even finish. But you are right. You are right. It's like Uptown was there the whole time and seeing the whole situation. That is what happened. That it's there now. It's there now. I wish Uptown would let me finish. She done already become psychic lady and untold everything. When we going to commit, I said, well, I already got a good woman now. Here go Prince O'Mill, my class clown. Everybody, please don't pay Prince O'Mill no attention. He's the class clown of the chat room. Disregard him. Um, yeah, Uptown telling all the business. I can't even get the rest of my story out because she's telling everything. But she's right. I know you've been there because you telling the truth, Uptown, and I appreciate you being transparent. It's not too many sisters that's gonna be transparent and say I've been there. They're gonna sit there and act crazy. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I can't relate. I ain't never been through nothing like that. I respect a woman who can keep it real and say, "Yep, I've been there. I did it. I was dumb once upon a time." I can respect that. People it starts with the good sex and it's a mind game because it's sex factor still rules a relationship. Absolutely. All of y'all got really, really good points. So I'm glad we all on the same page here. So anyway, she took the man back. And don't you know she had the audacity? She got upset with us because we wouldn't support her going back to him. Now, you ran us raggedy for months. We talked to you day and night trying to keep your head on strong because we knew the adjustments that she was going to have to make without him was going to be hard for her. We talked to her day and night. I talked to her. My mom talked to her. Her mom talked to her. All three of us, I'm new school, my mom old school, her mother old school. I mean, how much wisdom and knowledge could you get between the three of us? You get what I'm saying? So she disregarded everything we said, and her thing was, after she did all of this crying and dying and acting like she was going to jump off the bridge and everything, and a judge, everything was going to work out in her favor, she let all of that go. What's up, Ernest? Appreciate you. Yep, them slow strokes, something he did. So I mean, he worked out voodoo magic. So she got back with him. So what happened was, we all kind of figured at that point we pretty much had gave up. At that point, we left her, to be with him on her own. Everybody got tired of the soap opera. Everybody got tired of her crying about him and complaining about the abuse and complaining about what he was taking her through, what he was taking the kids through. I was talking to her mom, and her mom was just fed up with him all the way. Her mother could not stand this dude. she never liked him for the moment she met him. So it was a lot of drama, a lot. It was like a damn Lifetime movie. I don't even feel like going into the whole details of it, but y'all pretty much get the picture. A couple of Hero and Prince. I got two class clowns. I got two chat clowns in here that like to cut up. That's fine. Oh yes, I guess he was stirring it like coffee. So anyway, okay, so I backed up from her. In all honesty, I got frustrated at that point. And I mean, I get it. Me and my husband, we had our problems. We broke up and got back together, several times until we matured, until we learned how to deal with our problems more accordingly. But when it gets to the point to where you are calling everybody on the block and you crying tears and you putting on this Oscar performance about this man physically fighting you and him taking a whole income tax and not feeding, not giving you any money for you to take care of the kids. I mean, this man just did a whole lot of stuff, and my thing is, she got the audacity to be mad with us because we wouldn't support her wanting to get back with her husband, because her thing was, well, y'all are still with y'all husbands. So why is it so bad for me to still stand with my husband? Y'all went through the storm with y'all husband. Y'all had y'all ups and downs. So she had the audacity to try to flip it and twist it on us. Like we was wrong for not wanting to back her up for getting back with him. But like I had to make her realize was, look, you was, first of all, you was the one who came to us telling us everything you was going through with this man. Now, granted, I told her things that I had gone through in my marriage, but it's never been to the point to where, my husband, put me and my child out the house. I mean, her husband just took, I mean, he was just awful. You know what I mean? Mine, far from perfect. Mine did a lot of stuff too, but her husband just was really awful. You know what I mean? He was just off the chain. But now that she wanted to get back with him, she's coming up with all these excuses and trying to throw shade at us. Oh, y'all just don't want to see me happy. Y'all, it's all right for y'all to work things out with y'all husband, but the moment I want to work things out with my husband, it's a problem. So I said, you know what? I'm not about to play this game with her. I backed away and I left her alone. You know what I mean? I didn't talk to her in almost like a year, because sometimes, as hard as it is, people who come to you crying about their situation, sometimes you have to stop babying them and pampering them and leave them alone to deal with their own misery. And that's what I did. I backed up. I stopped patting her on the back. I stopped trying to encourage her. I said, I'm over it. You know what I mean? Sometimes people can only see their situation for how effed up it really is if you leave them alone to deal with it. But as long as you there and you keep wiping their boo-boo every time they fall, and you keep petting them up and babying them up, they're not going to see things for what it is. In other words, you can't keep Novocaine people. You get what I'm saying? You can't keep comforting them and helping them numb out. You know what I mean? About the issues that's our hand. Exactly, Zero. People need tough love, and that's what I had to do. You can't talk bad about dirty dick. I know, but I'm just saying, Anthony. I'm just saying. So anyway, that's what I did. We all backed up. I backed up, my mom backed up, and her mom backed up. We all just came to the conclusion, you know what? She's stuck on stupid right now. So I'm over it. You know what I mean? Who am I to tell a married woman what to do with her husband? You get what I'm saying? Because husbands, marriage is a very sacred thing. You just don't tell a woman to leave her husband, and you can't tell a man to just leave his wife. That's not like just boyfriend and girlfriend. That's a whole horse of another color. You get what I'm saying? You can't tell. Marriage is a very sacred thing. You can't tell somebody what to do with that. You know what I mean? I run out of first aid kits. exactly. That's where we was. We ran out of. We ran out. She drained us, and I ain't talking about a few weeks of this. This was months of hearing her going to court, months of hearing talk to lawyers, talk to child care advocates. This been months. And this girl went right back to him. I feel as if working ourselves, then focus on relationship, we be better. And I agree, Meta. That's facts. That's 100. Exactly. And that's what happened uptown. She almost worked me to death. I felt like it was my husband that was doing that. No, it wasn't years, but it was like a long duration. It was like three, maybe it felt like years, but it was like 4 months, 4 to 5 months of that, which was a lot for me. You get what I'm saying? Ain't like this was a 2-3 day situation. That's what I meant. This was weeks of it. Um, so basically we left her alone, right? Sure enough, I stopped talking to her for like a year and some change. And sure enough, she would try to send me little text messages and try to reach out. And I ignored them. I disregarded them because I didn't feel like hearing all that chaos. I didn't feel like being bothered with it. But sure enough, I guess she got to a desperate point and she decided to reach out to my mom, and she talked to my mom, and basically things ended up going just the way we said it would. Um, Things had gotten so bad to the point that um he ended up they ended up separating again, and he ended up leaving her. And I guess at that point, reality had kicked in for the both of them that the marriage was just not going to work. So against their better judgment, he was the one when it should have been the other way. He ended up walking out on her, and versus her walking out on him like she should have did the last time. And basically he played it smooth. I'll give him his props. He got back with her just to get in good with her and get his stuff lined up and in gear. And as soon as she got comfortable, he pulled the rug from up under her foot again. Because the reality of it was he just did not want the marriage. He was only tolerating her for the benefits of the marriage. The fact that he was able to claim kids and get a large amount on his check, being that he'd been a military person and all this and that. He had his own agenda. And it got to the point to where he played her like a fiddle once again. So she called herself reaching out, and I still didn't give in to her right away. But anyway, against my better judgment, I'm like, you know what harm is it going to do? I'll just call her to see what's good, see how things are. Because I already knew that at this point, things blew up in her face. And I knew it was only a matter of time. And it's over when he says it. Exactly. Uptown, ding, ding, ding. Once again, he just wanted her back so he can get back the power and control. Because when they last left off, everything was in her favor. Everything, the courts was going to grant her everything. And what happened was he panicked because he knew those courts was going to rip him a new butthole. He knew that. So he pleaded, he did the Keith Sweat, he did the James Brown, he pleaded and made her panties melt like M&Ms so he could have her like putty in her hands, and she fell for it. And he did all of that just to get in good with her, just so he could pull a rug from up under her foot. And that's what he did. It's exactly zero in. That was another big problem for her. Rodney, since that's the name Anthony gave me, I'm gonna go by that name. Rodney was always about $1 with her, always, and that was a big hindrance in the marriage because he always wanted to run the money, control the money, and he made her miserable with that because he was able to get away with giving her nickels and dimes while he took the rest of it and did whatever he wanted to do. And he had a bad gambling problem. And anybody who dealt with a person who's a gambler knows that's like dealing with an alcoholic. It's real annoying because that person loses money all the time. So, like I said, not to air dirty laundry. That's why I'm not naming her, but still, you know what I mean? Yeah, you have a lot of narcissistic people. So anyway, we reached a sheep. It took me a long time because I didn't forgive her for that. But then I realized I'm like, Mocha, what are you getting mad for? It's really not your problem. Yes, she was zero. Yes, she was. Um, basically, yes, she was. And I said, you know what? There's no point in me getting upset. I mean, that's her problem. It came back and backfired. It blew up in her face. That was then. I really don't care. So at that point, I realized I said, if I'm going to be friends with her, I just got to separate whatever she goes through. I just can't take it personal. I just can't get all my feelings and my emotions in it. Um, I've never gave out a key either. Yeah, absolutely, Anthony. I mean, absolutely. Um, and that happens in many cases. So I called her, and she was surprised to hear from me, because again, it had been like a year, um, and basically, things started off cool. We caught back up on what's been going on within the last past year that we did not see each other. I told her about things that changed in my life, and she admitted it to me that basically, he threw egg in her face when she went against everything we wanted. And she claimed she was trying to get the child support again, and she was in her own apartment, and he has to pay the rent once a month for her and all this other stuff, whatever. So anyway, um, I felt like our friendship was back on a good course. So I let all of that go. What she did with her husband, I let all that go. But the most recent incident, and I'm gonna go into that now because that's the purpose of me doing this content. The most recent incident, like I said, we reconnected, all was fine, so I thought. And sure enough, she went to bringing up issues about her husband. Now, what has happened is, and Uptown mentioned this earlier in the chat. What happened is, since that second blow up, and believe it or not, her husband have had several blow ups. Okay, um, but since that the blow up before the final blow up, her family stopped reaching out to her. Her family pretty much, they started limiting her, you know, and she couldn't understand why her family wouldn't look out for her. She couldn't understand why her mama and her siblings would not look out for her. She couldn't understand that. She could not understand why her family wouldn't lend her money, because her family's well off, and she couldn't understand why every time she was in the jam, nobody would lend her no money. Um, Anthony with that Rodney. So as a friend, I'm trying to explain to her why her family is not looking out for her the same way, because it's like the boy who cried wolf. This is what ladies not understanding. When somebody has seen you have witnessed you being in an abusive relationship for years, people are going to stop running to the rescue. Okay, people are going to stop listening to your sob stories. People are going to stop listening to your soap opera. After a while, folks don't care anymore about what you go through. People don't care. And she had the audacity to be upset with her family because she couldn't understand why they don't support her, why they don't look out for her, because your family is tired of going through this with you. So, in the conversation, I had to make her understand why her family didn't want to support her. I said, you know, I say, Kim, you got to understand, your family have witnessed your husband disrespect you for years. And this is another point I want to tell everybody in the chat room. Let me tell all you married people something. Are you soon to be married people? Are you potentially might want to get married people? Let me give y'all some knowledge on this. If you have a nasty husband or you have a nasty wife who do not respect you, and your spouse not only disrespects you, but let's say if you have a spouse that also disrespects your family, what happens after a while, when you have a nasty ass wife or a nasty ass husband, your family will start backing away from you. Okay? Because people not going to deal with a person who got a husband or a wife they can't keep under control. And I don't mean control in the sense to where, you know, your spouse got to knock you upside your head or smack you down to get you to respect. But if you have a companion that does not respect you, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to respect your family. They're not going to respect your siblings. They're not going to respect your parents. Be careful having a mate or marrying or being married to somebody who has no respect for you. If they don't respect you, they're not going to respect your family. I know somebody that's going through this right now. My friend who passed, her husband was a beast when she was living. He was a beast. He was uncooperative, selfish, incompassionate. He was all of those things when my friend was living. He was not a good husband. He was not a good stepfather. He was not a good companion. Don't you know, to this day, my friend been going 2 years and he is still a beast to her mother, a beast to her siblings. He's a beast to this day. His attitude has not changed no more than it did when my friend was living. Exactly, Prince. It happens all the time. If you have a companion, if your husband is nasty, or you got a wife that's the wicked witch of the west, people is going to leave you alone to be in your misery by yourself. People going to leave you in your misery alone to be by yourself. That's what's going to happen. Um, if people see, if people see, you have a companion, um, that is disrespectful, people will turn away from you. People do not want to deal with a man or a woman who got a nasty spouse. If your husband is nasty, I don't want to be your friend. Don't even bring him around me, because I'm gonna end up cussing him out. And you gonna be the one that got to go home and get that black eye, because he gonna have to take it out on somebody. I will cuss your husband out. And I'm not gonna feel guilty if he give you a black eye. I'm not gonna feel guilty about it. People do not want to deal with somebody who got a nasty husband or a nasty wife. And if you are in a situation like that, people are going to turn away from you. You're going to lose your support. You're going to lose your support if you have a nasty husband or a nasty wife. I promise you, your family will not have nothing to do with you. Your family is not going to invite you to the cookout. Your family is not going to invite you to the family reunion. Your family is not going to invite you to none of their weddings, because your husband is a butthole or your wife is a beast. Some of y'all right now don't understand why your mama, why your brother, them, why they don't ever invite you to nothing. Because you married to a hellraiser. Some of y'all are married to a freaking beast. Nobody wants to have nothing to do with you because your husband nasty. He's controlling. He got no filter. He don't care what he say out his mouth. Nobody wants to go to your house and see your husband cuss you out and talk to you all kind of way. Who wants to go to your house and see that? Nobody wants to go to a man house who got a jealous wife. She get an attitude as soon as somebody speak to you. What's she speaking to you for? Who want to deal? Listen, fellas, if your wife is jealous or paranoid, don't bring her around nobody. Leave your jealous, crazy behind wife home. Don't be bringing her to your high school reunion and you know your ex-girlfriend's gonna be there and they say, oh hey Daryl, long time no see, Daryl, and she lashing out or wanting to fight. You know your wife crazy, don't invite her to nothing. I don't understand that. Some of you men, y'all know y'all wives jealous and crazy, and you gonna take your jealous or crazy wife to the club where there's other women? Or you gonna take her to your hometown where you got ex-girlfriends? What is wrong with you, dude? Shh. That's what I'm saying, Rice. If she mental, don't bring your mental wife around other women. I tell men, if your wife crazy, don't bring her around me, because I don't want her to think I'm sleeping with you. I don't want her to think nothing. Cause them paranoid wives, they think everybody want their husband. Their husbands could look like Ogre from Shrek, and they'll swear somebody want their husband. Nobody wants your husband, boo. Nobody wants your Frederick Douglass looking husband. Oh, they want to visit now, Prince. That's how they do. That's how they do. That's what I'm saying. You already know. You already know your doggone. You know you got a companion. That's off the chain. You gotta pay, you got a spouse that's disrespectful, you're gonna lose support of your family and your friends. It's gonna happen. They can't. I'm not playing. Yeah, it's always women who got the most ugliest men. I think somebody want their husband. Her husband looking ugly, and she looking all ugly up because she thinking somebody want her ugly husband. Boo, you ain't got to worry. Nobody don't want your man. It's always them ugly women who think somebody want their ugly husband. I don't understand it, but it happens. Yeah, but um anyway, so let me tell you what happened. Why I had to cut off the second time because I know I'm all over the place. So I'm up here, I'm being honest with her. I'm telling her, your family don't want to do for you because you have cried wolf too many times. You broke up with your husband, get back with your husband. Break up with your husband, get back with your husband. Then when you get back with your husband, you give everybody a behind the kiss. You start smelling yourself. Nobody's not going to want to deal with that. You know, I didn't word it exactly like that. I said it a little bit more nicer. But I'm like, you know, that's why you and your mom don't have a good relationship. And she's going to try to tell me, well, me and my mom, we never had a good relationship even before I married him. No matter what I said, y'all, she kept trying to get around her husband. She did not want me saying nothing negative about that man. As I kept saying, a lot of the things that you're going through is because of your husband. She was getting very offended by that because she didn't want me to keep mentioning him, but I had to make her realize he is the reason of your downfall. He is the reason your family will not support you and back you up anymore. A lady friend of mine son has a baby mom and a woman when I didn't respect her baby's father and mother, zero respect, and she even messed with his uncle and she has no baby job. That Jay Smooth, I'm telling you, this stuff happens in real life. I know you're not lying. A lot of this Jerry Springer stuff, this Lifetime Spring stuff, it happens. I know thousands of people in that situation. What Rep said? Rep throwing shade again because I know he done said something funny. Between him and Prince, I don't know who's worse. But yeah. But anyway, so let me tell y'all what she did. So when I'm up here telling her, I'm breaking it down to her because y'all know me. I break everything down to a science. I try to give you analogies to make you understand. I will break things down in kindergarten form so you can comprehend. And I'm up here explaining to her why her family won't support her. She goes and brings up stuff her mama husband did. Well, everybody wants to, again, defending her no good husband. Well, I must call him Rodney, since that's the name Anthony gave me. Well, everybody wants to talk about Rodney, but my mom, she won't talk about the stuff her husband did. And I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Why are you bringing up what other people's husband did? We're not talking about other people's husband. We're talking about what your husband did to you. Your husband left you. again after you done kissed his behind, after you done took him back? Why are you bringing up other people's husband? Because again, she wants to take the attention off of her man. Okay, that she still feels the need to defend, even though he has not been a good husband to her. Okay, so I go further into the conversation, and I told her, I said, for instance, Kim, that's her name. I said, me and my husband, we went through stuff in my marriage, and we had a very rocky situation that had occurred. And the only reason my family was able to still respect us in the long run was because we had basically kept progressing. We didn't keep falling back into the same situation. It took a lot of time for us, for me and my husband to heal through the process, but in the long run, everybody respected our decision because we made sure that after that incident, we kept moving forward and we kept growing, and we did not end back up in that same situation. So that is what helped us to grow. That is what helped us to progress. She decides to say, well, wow, really? Because I remember at the time when everything happened, it wasn't that simple. You was crying, you was upset, you was this, you was that. And I was like, no, she didn't. How dare you bring up something that I share personal with you? How dare you bring up an old marital issue that I told you in confidence? How dare you throw that up in my face because you can't handle the truth about your husband? You gonna go dig back in the old file and pick out an old file with dust on it because you couldn't handle what I was saying to you. You had to bring up an incident that me and my husband went through almost 11, 12 years ago because you was butt hurt that I was not telling you what you wanted to hear. And you know what? At that point in time, I really literally wanted to curse her out because I'm like, you don't have to throw my past up to me. Believe me, I'm very aware of my past. What's up, Keon Brown? Appreciate it. I'm like, how dare you? Because one thing about me, I've never been the kind of friend that acted like I always had it together. Because my thing is when you're the type of person you try to always act like you got your shit together and it falls apart, you end up looking stupid. If that makes any sense to y'all in the chat room. If you're the type of person you got to always make your stuff look perfect, you end up embarrassed when you constantly try to put on the front. So I've never been the type of female or friend to act like everything was gravy because I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want to put up this front and make everything look great because no matter how much you try to make your life look grand, your mate could do something stupid to make you look dumb. So I've never put myself up there. Exactly, EE. I've never put myself up there like I had it together like that. I've never did that with her. So for her to throw up in my face what me and my husband went through, that was years ago. We're talking about what your husband is taking you through. But because you're so angry and in such a miserable place, you had to throw salt. So the ratchet me really wanted to go off. I really wanted to go off when she said that. But I took a breather and I had to have a woosah moment. I had to take a deep breath and say, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, Mocha. Hold on, Mocha. Why are you even getting upset with her? I had to really coach myself, y'all. I had to coach myself through this because I had really hurt my feelings as a friend that you would go there, especially when I've been supportive of you. Every time your husband let you down and walked away from you, I always was there to give you words of encouragement. and a helping hand. So I felt that that was totally a slap in the face. So I had a woosah moment, and I said, you know what? I couldn't get mad with her. And this is the point that I want you, this is the purpose of me doing this content about bitter bitches don't make good friends. I had to realize that you have to keep in mind when you are in a friendship with somebody that is not doing well, that is not down on their luck. Sometimes when you keep friendships with bitter people who are down on their luck, that are not doing well, that are suffering and they are miserable, they're not going to give you the best of them. If that makes sense to anybody in this chat room. When somebody is bitter, they're not going to give you the best of them. They're just not. And the only reason why I couldn't take it as personal as I wanted to, because I'm like, you know what? She's not mad at me. As even though what she said to me was hurtful, I had to realize she was making those statements from a hurt place because she was not happy with where she was in life. And ladies and gentlemen, you have to realize when you're dealing with somebody that's not in a good space in their life, they're not going to celebrate you. They're not going to mean you well. Only a real friend could be going through something bad and can still be happy for you when things are going well for you. But me having the history I had with this chick and knowing how she is, I knew that she's the type of female when things don't go right for her, as much as she tries to front and pretend that she can be happy for other people, I know it's not genuinely in her to be able to do that. And I had to realize I couldn't get offended, even though that was a below the belt statement she made. And I felt like she gut punched me with that statement. I said, you know what? I'm gonna have to let bygones be bygones because it was no point in me cursing her out. Why am I going to curse out and go off on a woman who's already bitter and not happy? That's a waste of time. It's a waste of time arguing with somebody that's miserable. You wasting your time arguing with somebody that's miserable. It's not doing you any good. You to be arguing with somebody that's miserable. So I realized, I said, you know what? She's undercoverly and throwing shade at me because she's hurt. And what happened was she realized because I got quiet. Sometimes when people come at you reckless, you got to be quiet because that gives them time to think about what they said wrong. You get what I'm saying? Versus you going right back at them as soon as they throw shade. Because if you go right back at somebody as soon as they throw shade, they can't process what they said to you because you done already said something to them. As hard as it was, I got quiet. And I promise you, that's when she knew she was wrong for what she said. She knew it. But the problem was damage was already done because when a person wants to come at me about my marriage, that's something sacred to me. You don't play with somebody's marriage. Three things you don't play with. You don't attack somebody's child, you don't attack their companion, and you don't attack their family. Those three things are deadly. You don't mess with people when it comes to those three things. And when she went there, I could have respected it more had it came from an enemy because my enemy, that's expected. But my thing was for you to say that in money, good point, Meta, because I was thinking that money. If you could say that, basically you was feeling that way the whole time. Like I tell people, there's four honest people in the world. There's only four honest people on this planet: a drunk, an angry person, an old person, and a child. Those four are the most honest people you'll ever meet. So even though you said it out of anger, the problem is you said it. That was enough for me. There was nothing she could say when she fumbled that ball, y'all. That was it. It was curtains for me. It was curtains. There was nothing you could say. I don't want to hear. I was angry. You know, you said it because that's how you felt. It took you to get mad to say it. Like you got what's called liquor courage, liquor courage. There's a thing called anger courage. It took you to get mad to say it. And my thing was, you never got past the last time I walked away from you. So me accepting you the last time, that gave you an advantage to get even by throwing the shade that you threw at me. And that let me know right there. I said, you know what? You cannot be friends with a bitter broad. You can't. You can't be friends with somebody who is down on their luck. You can't. Because the moment they feel like you doing better than them, they're going to automatically be in their feelings. They're not going to genuinely wish the best for you. Only a person that's really mature and very confident in themselves could wish the best for you, even when things are not going out well for them. And when she said what she said, I still played it cool, because what I did tell her was, I said, you know what? I did say this. I said, you better be very mindful for how you talk to people and the words that you say out your mouth. You already don't have that much support as it is. So why would you say something that will cause you to lose a little bit of support that you was getting? Why would you do that? And let me tell y'all something else. If this is another sign about people, if they own family don't rock with them, that's a major sign. That is a major sign. If you are in friendship with somebody and their own family do not deal with them, that's a big sign that that person is problematic. If they tell you, my mama haven't been talking to me for years, my daddy ain't talking to me for years, my brothers don't rock with me, my sisters don't rock with me, something is up with that. And I guarantee you, if you talk to their family, they'll tell you. They will tell you. They will tell you why. They will say, yep, we sure don't deal with it. You know why? Because A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And when you put the pieces together, you'll be like, oh yeah, now I see. I see why they don't rock with you. My family, all so you got the opposite problem. They always calling you. That's a major sign. If people, I'm telling you, if people want to keep sitting up there telling you about everything somebody did to them, but they can't tell you not one thing they did, that is a main sign. Because how you always the victim? How is it everything you go through, somebody did it to you? You're not going to take accountability. I can respect somebody who says, well, you know what? They did me wrong, ABCD, but I ain't going to lie. It was some stuff I did that caused it. That's when you know you're dealing with a real person that can tell you some of the stuff they did. But if you got that victim person, oh, my mama, my daddy, I don't deal with my mama, I don't deal with my daddy, I don't deal with my sister, brother. Nobody, you mean to tell me no, you don't get along with nobody? Something is up with that. Um, let's see, Keon, I believe this is the year of accountability and ownership. You see a lot of people lose this year who aren't willing to evolve their mindset. Mm, 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 mm. Now, if you haven't spoken some knowledge there, Keon Brown, that is the God's honest truth. It's going to be some people, y'all, they're going to lose. Some people are going to block their blessings because their mindset has not changed. I'm telling you. Some people are not going to win because their mindset. Exactly, Meta. I know that's what I'm dealing with, a narcissist, and that's why I cut off. You know what? She needs to apologize to you basically because she was wrong. Yeah, she apologized 1,000 times over. She did, but I'm done, and I'm not going back. I'm done. That's it. I'm not going to keep taking abuse off of somebody, you throwing shade, and you want to bring up things from my past that was very hurting to me. And as a friend, you knew the pain that I went through behind certain things, and you're going to bring that up. No, because if I let it slide, what you have to realize is the more you allow somebody to disrespect you and they become more and more comfortable with disrespecting you, next time it's going to escalate. They're going to take it to a whole nother level. I would cut them off quicker than I would cut my grass. Rep is a fool. I'm telling you, it hurt me that I had to do that, but I cannot. I've learned that the hard way. I have spared too many people too many chances. I can't keep doing that to myself. because next time you're gonna get even more bold. Next time you're gonna really take me to a whole nother level of disrespect. There's people are the ones to stay away from for real. Hero, I'm there. I'm there. It just comes to a point where we can't keep using excuses. My thing was I condone a lot of stuff she did before. Well, she's going through stuff in her marriage, or me and her, we got a history. We go back when. Like I said, people with a good heart, we will constantly make excuses for people. When you have a good heart, you will keep telling yourself and lying to yourself because you don't want to see the wrong in that person. Oh, Jay Smooth, me and you on the same page. I can't stand a professional victim. I cannot stand it. It burns me. It burns me quicker than a perm on the back of my neck. I cannot stand a professional victim. And that's what she was doing. Um, and I had to learn that just because y'all have a history together, that doesn't mean that person belongs in your future. So unfortunately, I had to end things, and I had to leave it at that, and I can't go back. I definitely wish her the best. I don't wish nothing, no ill will for her, but it is time for me to move forward. And I would tell anybody in this chat room, um, you can't be friends with a bitter man or a bitter woman. Somebody who's down on their luck, somebody who's not doing that well, somebody who feels like you're doing so grand and they're not. Um, you're not. It's going to be hard to have a relationship with them because every time you're sharing all of the positive things in your life, it's eating them up like cancer. It's eating them up. I can't stand closed-minded folks. That's why you gotta love them from a distance. Absolutely. And but from her, I couldn't even love her from a distance no more, Cool Jen. I had to cut off completely. There is no distant. I want you to be non-existent. That's what I needed. No more distant, non-existent. Some people you can't even love them from a distance. You got to cut them off completely. I had to decapitate her. I'm like, I can't even, try to at least be halfway all right with you because you the kind of person when stuff go wrong, you don't care what you say out your mouth. You quit to burn people who support you and care about you. Um, let's see. Yeah, I just yeah, bro. I mean, you just can't you can't keep holding on to people that are disturbing your peace. Um, you can't put a price on a peace of mind. If your ass need to look out too long, that's ground for termination. Rep, it's too late for you to be cracking jokes, man. I'm too tired to be laughing like for real. Uptown says, I don't deal with my none of family because the toxicity level is too high in all of us. I'm fed up plenty, but I got them reminiscing. And I can understand that Uptown. Sometimes, we go through those seasons where we just don't click with our family. And usually what happens is families sometimes they don't reconnect until they lose somebody through tragedy, until another funeral or something like that. We went, me and my family, we went through those dry spells when we was distant, but sure enough, every time we kept losing somebody, the circle got smaller and smaller. So we had to come together and we had to kind of try to get along. Because we just kept losing people. Every time we turned around, every year somebody was dying. It was always a funeral. So usually families that are so distant, slowly but surely, they end up reconnecting. But unfortunately, they reconnect through losses, and that's not good. It's important that as family, people try to get along with each other, but I get it. Everybody does not everybody can't bond with their family like that. Let's see what else. But yeah, we just, you have to be mindful of trying to maintain friendship with somebody that's really, really bitter. Everybody does not have your best interest at heart, unfortunately. You have to know when it is time to exit a friendship. It just comes a point where people they just outgrow each other, and you definitely can't be friends with somebody that's bitter. Now, as far as I can't too much relate to men, I don't know how y'all do each other when it comes to friendship. But I know with women, women, you have to realize that when you're dealing with another woman and y'all are friends and she's in a bitter place, you have to pay attention to the signs. You have to pay attention. It's the little things that we tend to overlook. When somebody is throwing undercover cover shade or slick diss, slick disses, you try to give them good information, you try to tell them good news. Yeah, girl, I got me a good job. You try to tell them something positive, and they want to throw some slick shade. Oh, you finally got a job. Oh, it took you long enough to get that job. Or you tell them, yeah, girl, I just bought me a brand new car. Oh, really? Oh, wow, girl, I hope you ain't get nothing with no high payments on there. I mean, you got to pay attention to the slick shade. You got to pay attention to little stuff like that. Thanks, Frito OG. I didn't even know you was in here. I appreciate the donation. Thank you very much for the $10 donation. Appreciate you. Yeah, you have to pay attention to that slick shade. I'm telling you, pay attention to that. You doing good. It's that little stuff. It ain't the big stuff where people are screwing you over. It's the little stuff they be doing. You know, I had another friend before that I had to get rid of. She was just, she was a bit much. And another thing women have to be careful is that sometimes other women can become very possessive of you in these friendships. I almost felt like I was in a lesbian relationship. This chick wanted to know where I was, how long I'm gonna be there. You ain't home yet. I mean, God dog, is you my side woman? Some of you females, y'all possessive in these friendships, man. Y'all so extra. I mean, this girl called me almost every freaking day to where my husband was looking at me with the side eye. My husband was looking at me with the side eye, like, man, what you doing? I mean, that's just how much she was calling me. She was so possessive. If you're not careful, some of these females are so they think they own you in these friendships. They act like you supposed to be the only friend they got. Every friend I ever introduced her to, she found a reason not to like them. Like she was my man. She was just too much. Just too doggone aggressive, man. That's why I can't fool with too many women. I don't have the energy for that. No, females always want to act like a bitch. I'm serious. I mean, she acted like she was my woman. Like I was her woman. I belong to her like that. What you wearing when you go out? Well, why you wearing that? I'm like, oh Lord. I said, I already got a husband I got to answer to. I got to answer to this beast too. It was a bit too much. Let me see. That says Trump ain't passing out of time. I guess I'm about time. Rep man, quit playing. I'm serious. She was real possessive. And when I started catching on, to how she was, I realized, she had her own reasons for being so close to me. It's, again, good-hearted people. Sometimes when you're a meek person, I'm a very humble person, despite what people may think. I'm very humble. And the problem is when you are very humble, people will mistake your meekness for weakness. Um, People will mistake your meekness for weakness. Um, yeah, you should have rolled out with that. Just didn't see that. Yeah, but that's what happened. I have pretty much an easy um going personality, and because I'm not a pit bull, you got some people that got a pit bull attitude, very argumentative, very confrontational. I'm the complete opposite of that. But the problem is when you're not a pit bull, people mistake your meekness for weakness, and I know that's what happened, because I had just really liked her as a person, and a lot of stuff I had allowed her to get away with in the friendship was because I called myself being loyal. But that's why I tell y'all, don't let loyalty lead to stupidity. Don't be so loyal to the point that you accept being disrespected, where you accept overlooking shady stuff that they doing. You have to be very careful with that. That's true, Rep. So, you just you have to use discretion. Um, you have to again pay attention to the little things. Pay attention to the slick diss. Um, Pay attention to the point. They only calling you when stuff is going bad, but when stuff is going good, you don't hear from them. Uh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, for sure, Meta. Um, you have to pay attention to that. Pay attention to how they treat you when they on the up and up. My thing is a real friend gonna be just the way they are. Whether they up, they still gonna be them. Whether they down, they still gonna be them. When you dealing with somebody, they attitude fluctuates depending on how good they doing or how bad they doing. You don't want to deal with somebody like that. You don't want to deal with somebody who got a personality that changed like the weather. What's up, James Harvey? How's it going? Welcome to chat. Yeah, you don't want to deal, you don't deal, you want to deal with folks when, they going through a bitter period in their life. When they're going through a bitter period in their life, very rarely are people going to celebrate when you winning, especially when they're losing. It takes a person that's really mature and very womanly or very manly to be able to accept the fact that, hey, I mean, although I'm struggling right now and my friend is doing good, I'm gonna represent my friend, I'm gonna encourage my friend, I'm gonna be there for my friend. Everybody don't have that kind of spirit. Everybody's not going to celebrate your success, especially when they are down in the dumps. And that's human nature. And if you have that kind of problem, that's something you definitely got to pray for God to help you to deal with. I know that was an issue I dealt with, feeling bad about myself when seeing everybody else around me doing well, and I'm looking down on myself. And you have to realize everybody's not going to be on top at the same time. Everybody's not going to have a winning season the same season. We all got a winning season, and then we all have a losing season. Everybody not going to win at the same time. Somebody got to be last. Somebody going to be first, and somebody's going to be last. But again, it takes maturity to really respect that, understand that. When Frito says, let me see. Hey Mocha, tonight I went to the gas station by my house in the hood, but I went when I knew all them old folks were gonna be. Oh goodness, yep, you don't be going to no hood store because you might run into some pit bulls up there, especially after 11, 12 o'clock. I had a chick tell me the other day she's happy I got in a car accident. Like, what the F who says that? Now she's calling saying her mom took her car, so she driving a hoopty. Wow, really uptown. It amazes me the stuff that how people will come out their mouth. Um, yeah, I mean, nobody wants to have a losing season, but that's a part of life. Everybody's not going to win at everything. You got to embrace um your failures as well as your success. You got to be able to embrace both of them. um but that's the problem, again, I'm telling you, all of you women out here who in these friendships, I mean, pay attention, because like I said, all of these bras, they don't have your best interest. A lot of them just hanging around and just only befriending you because either they struggling, or either they want your friendship as a blanket to comfort them through whatever they going through. People really don't. It's not too many people that know the real definition of friendship. Everybody does not know what being a friend is, and it's more to being friends than just y'all calling each other, gossiping, and giving it and spilling the tea with each other. That's not just a part of friendship. You know what I mean? Exactly. No, she ain't really a friend. She's an associate. That's the difference between the two. She's a friend, and she's an associate. She's somebody you talk to every now and then, but she's not a friend. You know what I mean? Everybody, like I said, everybody don't know the definition of friend. Everybody don't know the definition of loyalty. Loyalty is not the same to everybody. Loyalty is not the same. Some people are only loyal to you to a certain degree. And depending on what they feeling and what they going through, they may not be loyal to you that day. You said not what you need, charger. Oh, okay. All right. Be safe, hubby. Yeah. Everybody loyalty ain't the same. Most women are in competition with other women and friends. As always, absolutely. That's gonna always be. That's gonna always be. It's women in competition with each other and don't even know another woman in competition with them. That's how bad it done got.
What?
The people don't even know it's somebody who in competition with you right now, and you don't even know they're in competition with you. Huh? Should I need something? We out of ginger ale. Unless you bring her some back, I don't know. She might need some of her milk. If not, I have to go get it. But yeah, we don't have no more. She needs something to take with that alcohol seltzer. I call him, but it's nasty without it. It may be late this year. I say I'll call it when her watch out. Um, yeah, that's what I'm saying. People, as I stated, loyalty. Everybody don't have the definition of everybody's definition of loyalty ain't the same. Some people only loyal to you to a certain degree, and some people only loyal to you as long as they can benefit from you. The moment they can't benefit from you, they don't have no more loyalty. They don't feel a need to be loyal to you no more. Once they done got what they needed to get from you, Lord, ain't no more loyalty. Loyalty no longer exists. So you have to pay attention to the signs, y'all. Don't get deceived. You cannot be friends with somebody that's bitter. It's going. I don't care. How much they try to sit there, act like they're happy for you. As long as they luck keeps getting worse and your luck is getting better, it's gonna become more. It's going to eat them up like cancer. It's going to eat them up like cancer. And I realized, unfortunately, I had to let go of a 20 plus year or longer friendship because somebody could not keep their bitterness under control. So I had to 86 her. Unfortunately, I refuse to have anybody in my space, in my life, that's going to bring me any negative energy. I refuse. I'm not going to tolerate it because we got a history together, or because we go way back when. I'm not taking all kind of stuff off of somebody because, to me, you have to look at it. Some people don't really hold any value in your life. If you holding on to somebody right now and you're trying to figure out, is the relationship or the friendship worth preserving, you have to look at the value they hold in your life. Because if you really look at it, the person that you taking all kind of stuff from, they really don't have no value. You really don't need them like you think. And it's nothing wrong. It's nothing wrong with being alone. Only women who are insecure got to have an entourage, got to have somebody around them. I know some women, they got to have friends, got to have somebody to talk to. I'm okay with being alone. I don't have to have somebody to call and gossip with every night. I embrace isolation. When you done been through all kind of hell and back, you will learn to love being alone. You're not gonna be hating on anybody with these friendships. I look at how these grown women be calling each other bestie, my bestie, my new thing these girls are saying, my wifey. I don't know why they calling each other wifey, but that's what they be saying to each other, my wifey. My thing is, we too grown for besties. Either you're a real friend or you not. And I shouldn't have to guess and wonder if you're really a friend. I should be able to know it. If I got the second guess if you're genuine or not, I don't need to be in that friendship. I need to know that if somebody came up to me and said, so and so said so and so, I know without a shadow of a doubt that is not true. If I got to guess and be like, did she say that or whatever, I should have to second guess you. Then somewhere there's a flaw in our friendship. And I can absolutely say that about my friend who passed. I never had to question her loyalty. I knew it was there automatically. Did we have disagreements? Yeah. We didn't see eye to eye on stuff, but some of these women are just straight damn malicious when it comes to these friendships. Some women out here, they only want your friendship is because they addict deprived. Some women just want friendship because they're addict deprived. They don't have a man in their life, and they just want you there to fill in the gaps until they get a man. And as soon as they get a man, they acting up. You don't hear from them. They don't call you. They don't see about you. You can always tell when a broad done got herself a man, because the phone calls stop. She ain't calling you. She every time you call her phone going straight to voicemail. All of a sudden, she's so busy, she ain't got time. Child, bye. And only want to call you when Rodney is acting up. When Rodney back out in the streets hoeing, or Rodney don't want to be bothered. Girl, what you doing? I'm doing me. That's what I'm doing. They only want to reach out to you when they want something. And you know what? Let me see. Let me see. This thing be going kind of fast. Let's see. The little chat thing. I'm trying to. Why this thing moving so fast? I'm trying to catch y'all stuff. Let me see. Is there a way I could expand this damn thing? Because I'm missing people's. And you know what? This is the main thing I had to learn about people, whether it was a relationship or a homeboy. Samuel says, or you tell one person something everybody know, like, why are you telling my business? Yep. Oh, they definitely good for that. Exactly. Yeah. She'll call you. She won't call you when Rodney back to his old ways, when Rodney back out there hoeing or acting up. She'll call you. She will get on the phone with you and complain and cry about Rodney. Girl, I checked Rodney's phone. Rodney got this girl texting him, and he done sent this girl dick pics and all this other stuff, and I can't stand him. I'ma get rid of him soon as I get my income tax on the 15th. Soon as my income tax has been deposited in my account, I'm getting rid of him. He gonna have to go. I'm done with him. I don't give a damn about him or his dick. I don't give a damn about him or none of his baby mama. As soon as Rodney comes to the door, girl, I'll call you back. I got to go fix Rodney his plate of food. Oh. She would sit there and talk all that trash, but as soon as Rodney come home, child, I got to go, girl. I got to go. Girl, let me get off this phone. I got to go make Rodney. I got to go make Rodney his food. After she done talk trash about him for 3 hours, she done talk your head off for 30 hours about this man. He ain't this. He ain't that. He ain't this. He can't even get it up. He can't do this right. He don't know how to. Soon as Rodney come home, girl, I'll call you back. Girl, you know I can't be on the phone because Rodney be all in my mouth. That ain't all that's gonna be all in your mouth. I'm just saying. I say, been around the world and yeah. I'm tired of hearing the same old cry. I've been all around the world with them. It don't be nothing. That's why I don't be listening to them with all that crying. Because they going right back to them same Negroes they be sitting up there crying and complaining about. I'm just saying, everybody know that one chick. Everybody know that one chick that do it. I mean, it is what it is. That's just why my friends list is so short. It's really short. My circle's so small, I got to talk to my damn self. That's how small my circle is. I'm serious. And I'm okay with that. I done been through too much with people. I don't yearn for friendship like I used to. You know, I don't mind chatting with folks every once in a while. You know, me and some girlfriends of mine, we did go out for some drinks last weekend, and we did the little painting thing, you know, and I like that. I realize you can enjoy people more when you see them less. I realize that's the key. If you really don't want to enjoy somebody's friendship, don't deal with them too much. All that talking to each other 3, 4, 5 times a day. Y'all going to the club every weekend. Y'all always ripping and running. I'm telling you, the less you deal with people, the more you get along with them. It's better to deal with people in moderation, because after a while, if y'all are hanging out too much, talking to each other too much, eventually you're gonna get on each other's nerves. You're gonna bump heads. And that happened to me. Me and this girl used to hang out so much. Now the worst thing was we was already working on the same job together. Now, as soon as we get off the clock, we talking some more. And then we hanging out on the weekend. Then we going out of town on the weekend. I mean, it just got like it became too much. You know, because sometimes people could become overly comfortable with you. People can become too comfortable, too familiar with you. Sometimes you got to leave a little bit to the imagination. Tell you myself because so much alike. I'm exactly, Samuel. I just don't do it. I don't want people in my space too long, because eventually, let me tell y'all something. I know the bad part is I'm afraid I'm going to be antisocial. Let me tell y'all how bad I got it. It's so bad for me that if company has been in my house for 10, 20 minutes, I'm ready for them to go. Is there anybody else in here that's like that? If company comes to your house, you can only tolerate them for maybe 20 minutes and make it so bad. I rarely ever get any company. I don't get no company like that, y'all. If I do get company, it's like my mom will pop up, but I talk to my mom so much on the phone, so she really comes over like that. But my dad or my sisters, them, you know, that I rarely have company. So when people pull up to my house, my dogs, I have 2 dogs in my front yard. They will start barking. I will get paranoid. That is just how much I don't have no company over. I will get paranoid like RS is looking for me, because I don't deal with people like that. And my husband, he doesn't have all kind of guys. He's very funny. He don't even have guys come to our house. He doesn't do that. He'll go out and play pool, and he'll go meet guys, but he never has guys to my house. Never. And I really have girlfriends over here. And you can't let everybody in your house, y'all, because some people be bringing spirits in your house now. You got to be careful who you let up in your home. What's up, Angela? Good to see you. Even if my whipping it. Exactly, Meta. I've learned when you done been through all kind of hell and back, you done learn to embrace your isolation. You don't be yearning, you don't be thirsty for friendship like that. I'm not thirsty for friendship. I don't have to have somebody to my house to keep me company all the time. You got some women, they can't stand being by themselves. You got some women who intentionally will not let their kids move out because they scared to be alone. You got some people that's like that. Exactly, EE. You got some females, they got to have girlfriends. I'm like, what's the thirstiness? You a grown ass woman. Why you got to constantly have a home girl? Why you have to have an entourage? Why you got to always have somebody in your face? I'm not one, I don't have to always have company. I'm the kind of person I can go out by myself, get myself some Starbucks, pick myself up some lunch. I embrace my isolation. I don't always have to have a friend. I don't always have to have a homegirl to be in my face. And then sometimes people just be wanting to come up in your house so they can fill you out, because your house says a lot about you. Your house speaks volumes about what kind of man or woman you is. So you got to be careful who you let in your house, because some people are only want to get close to you just to scope you out. They can see what kind of money you make based on how your house looks. They can see, there's just stuff they could pick up on. So you have to be careful who you allow in your sanctuary. Um, Everybody does not have the best interest our heart. So you can't be so overly welcoming. Some people want to come to your house just to scope out your husband. Some people want to come to your house to scope out your wife. People is real malicious. That's how a lot of affairs and stuff start, by introducing your spouse or your companion to a friend that you have to your house too frequently. I don't bring too many to my house. Yeah, it has. And yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I learned that the hard way. It was years ago, but I got close to the wrong type of female and didn't even know that she was an undercover smoker. And she broke into my house and took my computer. And all it took was one time for me. I said I would never let anybody get that close to me. Ever. And ever since then, I don't do that. I don't let people come up in my house and scope out my furniture and scope out my, how I live. People be scoping. They be measuring you and basically be checking you out based on what they think you got. Yeah, yeah. I mean, church folks. Definitely. I mean, that's just what they are. They just folks who go to church. You have what's called Christians and you have what's church going people. They are not the same thing. Just because somebody goes to church, that does not mean they're living for God, and that does not mean they know God. You got some people, they just good church members, you know. They just attend church regularly, but that don't mean that God is in them. So you definitely have to be careful with them. Um yeah, exactly, Meta. My husband is very particular about that. I've never seen. I've never. He's never had a male friend come in this house. Other than his father, and I think he had a male cousin or two, but very rarely. I've never. I don't remember him ever having a male friend at my house. I don't. I just don't ever remember it. Um, Yeah, exactly. And I'm pretty much the same way, Jay Smooth. I don't mind being sociable, but I have to have my own space. Um, I'm just not in the business of having people crowd me too much. I feel like the more people hang around you, the more they start picking up stuff. I don't care how discreet you are with your personal affairs, people will pick up on stuff. They hang around you long enough, people will fill you out. Things you think you hide and things you think you covering up, people will be able to pick up on it. And that's why less is best. You will enjoy people more the less you deal with them. I don't have a lot of company at my house. I work too much. Yeah, and definitely that's a good thing. Even though I'm a homebody, I just don't care to have people at my home in my home too much. I'm more comfortable with, if I do hang out with a friend, I'd rather go meet them somewhere. Now I've had one or two girlfriends that I would let come over here without a problem, but for the most part, I've always been a very particular person. I don't let people in my space too much and too frequently. Um and that's another thing when it comes to these friendships. You cannot ignore your intuition. If something is telling you, I don't care if that person's being nice. I don't care if that person buys you things, looks out for you. Just because people do good things for you, that don't mean they have good intentions behind it. People could be doing good things for you just to get you comfortable with them. And the moment you done got comfortable to where they need you to be, they're gonna pull a rug from up under your foot. So don't be deceived just because somebody is being nice. Some people are being nice to get you comfortable to where you can let your guard down. And next thing you notice, you done found yourself in a mess with them. And you're sitting back and you're trying to reflect, how did it get this bad? What happened? You allowed that person to get too close to you. And let me tell these ladies another thing, because women, we have a bad habit with this. Women, we have the tendency to connect with another woman, especially because she shares the same trials and tribulations as we do. Women tend to connect a lot through the same pain. It's kind of like if she's going through something in her marriage and she feels like another woman is going through something in her marriage, women think they could automatically connect just because they got similar struggles or because they have similar battles. Just because you and a woman, just because you and a female, y'all got something in common, that does not mean y'all are supposed to be friends, ladies. That does not mean just because she catching hell in her house and you catching hell in your house, that does not mean that y'all are supposed to be friends. Just because you're both going through the same thing, that does not mean you're supposed to connect and hang out, because women have the tendency to do that a lot. We will become very open, and the reason why I'm saying this because I know I did it. We have the tendency to become very comfortable with each other. Somehow, some way, you and this person on the job, y'all will start off doing small talk, might not even like each other when y'all first initially meet. Or I don't like her, she thinks she this and that. And at the same time, she looking at you. I don't like her, she acts stuck up and this and that. Slowly but surely, when y'all are around each other, y'all will begin to open up to one another. Y'all will become comfortable with one another to the point all it takes is a small conversation, because that's how it starts off. It takes small conversation where you say, "Girl, I'm just having a rough day today. Oh my gosh, it's just one of them days." And she'd be like, "What?" She said, "Yeah, I'm having a rough day too." "Yeah, girl. I normally don't whine, but I'm just kind of going through it with my kids right now." "Oh, really, girl? I'm going through the same thing too. My son, he did blah, 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 blah." Next thing you notice, now you feeding back. "Oh, girl, you too. My daughter, blah, 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 blah." Women, we connect through relation of the same problems. That's what makes us connect. But over time, sooner or later, you're both going to bump heads, because women are very petty by nature, and women are very competitive by nature. And this is what I say by women are competitive in nature. For instance, if you're having a conversation with a woman, right? Let me tell you, this is to show y'all how competitive women are by nature, for y'all who don't want to believe it. For instance, you could be talking to another woman, right? And you can say, "Girl, me and my husband, we had a nice time. We went out on a cruise in Vegas, and girl, it was just wonderful. The water was beautiful. The hotel suite was beautiful." You go on about your moment. This helper be like, "Oh, it is, girl. I remember that time, man. Me and Rodney, we went on a cruise in Vegas." I'm like, why I can't just share something without you bringing up your moment? I can't just share with you a moment without you having to tell me one of your moments. Why can't you just say, "Girl, I'm glad you enjoyed yourself"? Why you got to try to outshine my shine? Just let me shine for a moment. I'm telling you about how I had a good time, and you got to bring up to me how you had a good time. I mean, come on. It's little stuff like that where that lets you know women are competitive by nature. We cannot allow the other to share a moment without feeling some type of way, you know. Or, "Yeah, girl, I just got a new job and blah, 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 this, and that." "Oh, really? Well, how much they paying you?" Why can't you just be happy for me? Why you got to ask how much they paying you? That's none of your damn business how much they paying me. Now, it may be to where you may be comfortable. "Well, girl, they paying $15 an hour." "Oh, really? Girl, for that, you might as well stay where you at. That's only $1 more than what you getting." I mean, come on. I mean, women are just natural born haters. I mean, good grief. Me and Ronnie went to Vegas and he lost all the rent money. Frito, you a mess. And that's true. But Frito, they not gonna be that honest, because they're a woman. She gonna make Rodney look like he's a wonderful man. Ain't no woman gonna be that honest. Especially them fake ones. She ain't gonna tell you Rodney messed up all the money. She gonna be lying. "Girl, yes, me and Rodney had a wonderful time, girl, yes, and the sex was the bomb." That's what she gonna do. No problem, Jay Smooth. I appreciate it. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. You can view the rest of the content later. I'm gonna leave it up. Um, but yeah, you have to, you just it's just sad, but women, we just can't stand to see each other win. We can't stand to see each other win. We can't stand to see each other progress. We can't stand it, especially if we're not doing well. And that's why I said Bitter bitches don't make good friends. You cannot be friends with a woman that's not doing well. Now you have some women that are mature enough to not be in a good place, but she will not allow her bitterness. She won't show it. She won't act it. She won't display it. You know, even if she is feeling some type of way, she's woman enough to not allow her bitterness to consume her. But some of these women are so petty and so miserable, they cannot conceal their bitterness. And that's why I said I had to end my last friendship because of that. You know, she just, I mean, no matter how much we went through together, she just did not respect all of what I had to overcome to get to where I'm at. And because you're feeling in the funk with where you are and you're not happy with where you are, you want to try to use me as a dumpster and throw your trash on me. And I'm not cool with that. A little bit of truth, I can tell all lies. Exactly. Exactly, Meta. And women are, and some women are terrible with that. You have some women that really think as long as they tell a piece of truth, she done told all the truth. And she ain't tell all the truth. If you ain't telling the whole thing, you still lying. But in her mind, based on her delusions, she don't think she really lied. She think, well, as long as told some of the story, I'm not being dishonest. If you ain't telling it exactly how it is from point A to point B, you are being dishonest. You know, and a lot of it is, again, that's why I tell women, don't put up the perfect front like you have the perfect life, because something happens, you'll get embarrassed. Like I said, I mentioned this earlier. I never was one to try to make my life look perfect, and I never tried to make my life look grand, because when you do stuff like that and something happens and your business is brought out in the open, you're going to get embarrassed because you don't put on such a front that your life is so grand. But if you always been one to keep it real and not afraid to say, hey girl, you know, I'm going through this, I'm going through that, people could respect you. People won't talk bad about you as much. I notice females who are talked bad about the most are the ones who are always fronting. If you're not always fronting, you don't make yourself a target. But when you sit up here and you always, how's everything going? Girl, everything is fine. Everything is great. Everything is wonderful. Everything's fine. I'm fine. The kids are fine. My husband is fine. Everything is not always goddamn fine. What's wrong with keeping it real and saying, you know what, girl, I'm not going to lie. I'm going through a really rocky stage in my marriage right now. Just pray for me. What's wrong with saying that? I'm not saying you got to tell me all the details. You ain't got to tell me that you had to kick down the door and you found Rodney in the room with some brought off a back page and all of that. I'm not saying you got to tell all the details. You do have to keep some stuff discreet, a lot of stuff discreet, because sometimes when you're too open, people will use your business against you. Um, Especially women. Women have the tendency to throw shade at each other later. When they get mad, when they get upset. You know, my thing is, if things don't work out between you and a friend, just gracefully walk away from each other. You don't have to air each other's dirty laundry. You don't have to talk bad about each other. You know what I mean? Just be mature enough to walk away like women. Why you got to go on Facebook and post subliminal posts? Why you got to air each other's dirty laundry? I think that is so petty and childish. My thing is, you actually breaking the code. If I shared something with you at the time we were friends, now that we are enemies, you don't have the right to discourse that information. You are forbidden from that. You don't have that right. Once we have ended our friendship, you don't have that right to use anything I told you personally. Now you want to exploit it to other people. That's violating the code. That's committing a felony in friendship, boo. You cannot do that. You tell me something and we fall out, I'm good. I don't have to air your dirty laundry, because guess what? I'm going to let karma come back and run its magic. Exactly. And I get it, EE. That's why I've been by myself. These females do not know how to let stuff go. They will sit up here and hold on to stuff and file it in the back of their cabinet. So when they get mad with you, they can go back in that same filing cabinet and pull it back out and throw it up in your face later. Appreciate it, Anthony. I don't get that. If you and the person stop being friends, just go your separate ways. You don't have to go talking to other women about what she did and she was wrong. She knows she was wrong. That's on her. Because guess what? Good friends are hard to come by. And if you grimy and if you a fake, you're going to find yourself alone. Because once people start figuring out what you are really about, people are going to walk away from you and never look back. You don't, but guess what? It hurts them to the core to be groaning women on Facebook. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, some women get so emotional they can't hold water. They get upset. They go straight on Facebook, social media. They make social media their diary. They put all their emotions, they put all their feelings on social media. And that's stupid because when you put what makes you angry, what makes you upset, people know how to attack you. You up there posting about everything you and your husband do, everything you and your man do. It's a lonely health out there that's getting jealous of that. And the moment she catch your man in the street, she gonna try him just because you don't put up this perfect front. I know this female right now, and I would not say her name. This chick posts her husband 20 times a day. Every single freaking day she posts pictures of her husband. And I'm like, I mean, are you really that insecure in your marriage to where you got to constantly keep posting him? Exactly, Frito. Everybody knows her man. She posts 20 like, well, I'm embellishing. She may post like 4 or 5 pictures of him a day. Every time he has on a new outfit, she posts it. I mean, she is so infatuated with them. And that's another thing. I don't deal with females that always brag on their marriages. I don't like females that. I'm a married woman and I refuse to hang around other married women who constantly bragging about their husbands. I don't be wanting to hear all that. It's okay once in a while to share little things and say, okay, you know, if she say, well, me and my husband, we went out of town, we went to Vegas. Exactly, Anthony. That's exactly what it is. We had a nice time. That's cool. I don't mind small talk. Me and my 1 or 2 friends I got left, she'll call me and tell me her husband, they went to a new restaurant, something like that. And we share little things here and there. But I don't like to be around them helpers that talk about their husbands like their husbands are God. Oh, my husband is this and my husband is that, and my husband is so wonderful. And my husband just brought me a new car. And my husband just brought me a new home. And my husband, nobody don't want to hear about your husband every day, all damn day. Nobody want to see your husband every day, all day. And when I tell you, her husband looks like Kermit the Frog. He ain't even that good looking. It's always women who be bragging on their husbands that ain't even that good looking. I mean, he looks like Kermit the Frog, literally. He got bug eyes. And she stayed bragging about him. I don't brag about my husband a lot. I don't want to hear another woman brag about her husband all day long. It's a goddamn turnoff. Nobody want to keep hearing about that. Every day, all day long. Some women, they go too far with that. It's aggravating. One woman on my past job, that's all she did was talk about her ugly husband. And he was like so ugly. A big cockroach looking dude. And she was crazy about him. She talked about this man like he was Denzel Washington. But then looking at her, I saw why she talked about him so much. I mean, she looked like Neil from Nell Carter from Give Me a Break. That's why you so obsessed with your husband, because you was afraid you was never going to get married with how you look. So now you found somebody desperate enough to marry you. You all the way to the moon and back with it. I mean, come on, give me a break. I don't want to hear about somebody brag about their husband. I don't want to hear about no man brag about his wife all the time either, because you got some men that are like that. My wife this, or my wife cooked that, and my wife, I get annoyed. I don't want to hear about that all the time. Oh, I can't stand that. That's the stupidest thing a woman could do uptown, is you telling women all your sescapade story. Nobody want to know how Rodney had one leg bit behind your back and how he had you moaning. Nobody don't want to hear about that. I do not want to hear about that, because every time I see Rodney, I got that vision. That vision. Every time I see your husband Rodney, that vision is in my mind. How he lifted up your big old Toyota Tundra truck leg. Some of you guys, I listen. Listen, I see some of y'all wives, and maybe I think too deep and I think too much, but some of y'all wives be having them big old Toyota Toyota Tundra truck thighs, and in the back of my mind, I'm like, how he be lifting her up? I be trying to figure it out. I know I'm going to hell. I know I'm wrong, but some of y'all, I be looking at y'all wives, I be like, Lord, he's so crazy about his big old Toyota Tundra truck wife. I'm just saying, she got to get her bras from AutoZone, not Victoria's Secret. Oh my goodness. I'm so serious. I got nothing against, please don't take it for granted. I'm not saying I got anything against my plus size sisters. I don't, because some of y'all be killing it. You could dress your ass off. I know some skinny women that ain't that cute. I'm talking about these rhinoceros looking sisters that think they fine as hell and think somebody want their ugly ass husband. I can't stand women like that. They make my skin crawl. I'm like, if she brag about her Uncle Ben's looking husband one more time, I don't be wanting to hear all of that. I'm just saying what y'all would be thinking. I'm saying what you would think, but you just don't have the balls to say it. I mean, it just is, it is what it is. I mean, I don't like people that's like just constantly always bragging and telling their sex stories. I mean, if you love who you with, love them. I mean, nobody ain't got to always hear about what your husband brought you, what your wife brought you. Who cares? So what? If you're really that happy, and you know what, the ones who do the most bragging are the ones that are the most miserable. Anytime you see somebody who constantly bragging on their wife or bragging on their husband, that's because it's a whole lot of stuff not right in that marriage or that relationship. And that's why they constantly feel the need to keep trying to overcompensate for it by doing all that bragging. I care for all my women I had in my adult life had big. Hero, you may have to email me later and tell me how that works. I'm curious. I just don't want you to do it on here because I don't want nobody flagging my channel. I'm gonna email you because I need to see how that works. I need a brother that's gonna break it down because I'm trying to understand. That's one of them things. It's not good to want to know, but I want to know about it anyway. And you better not tell nobody you told me either, because I don't want nobody to know that I want to know something like that. It doesn't look good on my resume. But really, I'm curious. Yeah, it's just some people just be doing too much. Some people just do way too much. You draw a lot of attention to yourself. Eventually, you make yourself a target. Uptown, she calls me and says, "Girl, I'm so sore. I let me the raw. I wore a leash. Please shut the fuck up. Call me later." Yeah, but a lot of that overly bragging comes from it's a lot of pieces that are missing in their relationship. That's where a lot of it comes from. Because if you are really happy with your man, you're happy with your woman, you don't feel the need to constantly brag. It's the couples that have the most insecurities and got the most drama in a relationship. Though these are the ones who constantly have to brag, got to constantly be on display, got to constantly put everything out there. Everything was gonna be I tried Meta. Um, yeah, a lot of that comes from, and the reason uptown she's constantly probably bragging about the sex life she has because that's probably the only area he good in. He probably good at throwing it down in the bedroom, but she probably can't even get him to pay a bill. She probably can't even get him to really uh uh be the leader of the household. All that bragging that people be doing, a lot of it comes from the fact that they are being deprived in other areas of that relationship. If you are really happy with who you with, you don't feel a need to brag and express your love for one another because you know the love that you have for one another is real and is genuine. And y'all both are secure enough within each other to where you don't have to constantly keep putting it out there like that. When I see a woman that's constantly putting pictures of her and her man on Facebook or social media, or if she's one of those women that got to constantly brag about what her husband does and everything, to me, that lets me know there's a lot of missing pieces in her relationship. Because again, a lot of that comes from they're not happy somewhere. Exactly, Frito. Misery likes company. If you're really in love with your husband, you're really in love with your wife, you don't have to keep going around screaming it to the rooftop. People will know how much y'all love and care for one another, just by how y'all treat each other. Just by the type of spirit y'all carry when y'all together. Love cannot be forced. It has to be natural. And when you're doing too much, people are going to pick up on it. People are going to know you phony and that you're really not that happy. Oh gosh, yeah. See, it's always them ones, and always them ones that got to be so over the top, you know, that got to constantly brag about their man or brag about their woman. And another thing I learned too, a lot of these men who constantly be bragging about their wives and bragging about their woman, a lot of time they do that is out of guilt because either they done cheated on her before, or either he's still goddamn cheating on her. And in order to make her feel secure, he likes to keep bragging on her. So for you women that's going around here thinking you all of that because your husband always bragging on you, you better figure out why the hell is he bragging on you so much. Is he doing something he got no business doing? Did he do something he had no business doing? And in some cases, especially if that man has cheated on her before and she has decided to stay with him, 9 times out of 10, he knows he's going to constantly have to still prove his loyalty to her. So sometimes men who have cheated on their wives or cheated on a significant other, they constantly have to brag on their wife because they want that wife to feel like, I've learned my lesson. I'm not out there no more. You're all I want. You're the only one I want to be with. All this overly bragging, a lot of it is validation because they mates don't feel secure with them. They say the house that has the most decoration eyes, the most problems. I said, absolutely. That's actually a good analogy, EE. Everything that glitters is not always gold. Um, just because people look like they got it together, looking like you got it together, versus actually really having it together is not the same thing. Anyone could play the role. Anyone could talk a good game. You know what I mean? Anybody could talk a good game. Fat with no time. I guess, Rep, what you stating is, Rep, she got to pay like she weighed, right? If she weigh 400, she got to pay 400. If she weigh 5, she got to pay 5. Am I correct? She got to pay like she weigh. If she gonna stay, okay. Exactly. Exactly. But, definitely, I'm going to wrap things up in a little bit. But I had to do this content because, like I said, I had to end a friendship um with the person that I really thought had my best interest. And I hate having to do that because to me, life is so short. I don't like giving up on people. I don't like throwing in the towel, but when you done showed me your left hand, I'm not gonna stick around and wait for you to show me your right hand. And that's why it is very important, ladies and gentlemen, that you do not remain in a friendship with somebody that's bitter. Things ain't going right for them. They want to take it out on you. They want to throw up your past. They want to throw up stuff. No, it is time to 86. You cannot go into 2019. Oh, exactly, Meta. You ain't got to tell me something that I already don't know. I have learned my lesson. I have realized some people come in your life as a lesson, and others comes as a blessing, you know. And I've learned that some things that are in the past, you better off leaving them in the past. You say you can't grow to the next level, and sometimes you have to realize people that come in your life are nothing but blessing blockers. The enemy will use people as blessing blockers. They are just there to block your blessings. Know the difference. Use spiritual discernment. Use common sense. Don't let your heart overrule your mind. When somebody is showing their true colors, somebody is showing you who they really are, believe them. No problem, Uptown, because I'm getting ready to shut things down. I know this has been one of my longest contents tonight, but you know what? I love hanging out with y'all. I enjoy the positive energy y'all give me. Like I stated, like y'all learning from me, I'm learning from all of y'all as well. Definitely this has been one of my best chats. I appreciate all of y'all for coming in and hanging out with me. I know y'all got to get up for work. I know y'all got the weekend to look forward to, but again, I appreciate y'all for supporting me, rocking out with me, having my back. I appreciate all of those who donated tonight. I appreciate those who was just here with me, kicking it with me, hanging out with me. I love each and every one of you. Big ups to all of my moderators, handling your business, keeping everything cool, calm, and collective. Because you know that is how we roll and that is how we operate here at Mocha's Cafe de Paris. But again, I want to thank all of you. The name is Lady Mocha. Remember, I'm going to always pour you a cup of truth and break you off a slice of knowledge. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so the next time I do my content, you will be the first to know. You won't miss out, okay? So again, I love y'all. I thank y'all. Y'all have a God blessed evening. Well, hell, it's going on another day now. But y'all get what I'm saying. But again, I will holler at y'all soon. And it's your girl Mocha. Y'all take care. I'm out.